Hello everybody and welcome back to another D&D discussion video. In this video we're going to go over Monk from the 2024 Handbook levels 1 through 20. If you enjoy this video and you want to see more, go ahead and check my playlist out. I got a bunch of other classes there for you to see. And go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss another video. Now let's get into it. So I'm going to be using D&D Beyond to show all of the features just like every other class that I'm doing. So here is the character features levels 1 through 20. At first level you have the core Monk traits. So the primary ability is going to be Dexterity and Wisdom. It's one of the only classes that actually has two primary abilities. Your hit point die is a D8 per monk level. Your saving throw proficiencies is going to be in Strength and Dexterity. Your skill proficiencies, you get to choose two between Acrobatics, Athletics, History, Insight, Religion, or Stealth. For weapon proficiencies, you are proficient in simple weapons and martial weapons that have the light property. For tool proficiencies, you choose one type of artisan's tools or one musical instrument. You don't get any armor training because the whole point of a monk is to not have any armor. And then your starting equipment is the same with other classes. You choose A or B. And A is Spear, 5 daggers, artisan's tool, or musical instrument chosen for the tool proficiency above, Explorer's Pack, and 11 gold pieces, or you can choose option B and get 50 gold pieces. So for the monk skill proficiencies, I'm gonna go with a more stereotypical monk and do acrobatics and stealth. And for musical, I'm gonna choose a musical instrument and not an artisan tool, so I'm gonna go with a flute. At first level, you get martial arts, so gives you a mastery of combat styles that use your unarmed strikes and monk weapons, and your monk weapons are simple melee weapons and martial melee weapons that have the light property, which is what you're proficient in as a monk. So pretty much whatever you're proficient in, that's a monk weapon. And you can't get the following benefits when you're wearing armor or wielding a non-monk weapon. So you get a bonus unarmed strike. You can make an unarmed strike as a bonus action. You get martial arts die. You can roll a d6 in place of the normal damage of your unarmed strike or monk weapons. And the die does change as you level up, and that'll be in your monk features table. So it'll break it down to you which die per level your martial arts die is. And you get dexterous attacks, so you can use your dexterity modifier instead of your strength modifier for the attack and damage rolls for your unarmed strikes and monk weapons. And additionally, if you use grapple or shove, you can use your dexterity modifier instead of your strength for that as well. Also at first level, you get unarmored defense, so while you aren't wearing armor or wielding a shield, your base armor class equals 10 plus your dexterity modifier plus your wisdom modifier. So this is where you have that dual primary ability, so dexterity and wisdom are so important for the monk build. At second level, you get monk's focus, and this gives you focus points that you can use for things. If you're familiar with a 2014 rules, these used to be called key points, and now they're called focus points. And you have a number of focus points equal to whatever it says on the monk features table, but if you want a hint, I like to keep track of it as starting at second level, you get a number of focus points equal to your level. So if you're a level 6 monk, you get 6 focus points. And you regain all of them on a short or long rest. Some features that use focus points require your target to make a saving throw, and that save DC equals 8 plus your wisdom modifier plus your proficiency bonus. So you get the 3 abilities that you can use focus points for. You get Flurry of Blows, so you can expend 1 focus point to make 2 unarmed strikes as a bonus action instead of your normal 1 unarmed strike as a bonus action. You get Patient Defense. You can take the Disengage action as a bonus action. This is always in effect, but you can expend 1 focus point to take both Disengage and Dodge action as a bonus action. This is cool because it lumps Disengage and Dodge all at once, so you can just disengage, move away a little bit, and you have that Dodge, which gives enemies disadvantage on the next attack roll against you. So you can just kind of step back into a defensive stance. And Disengage is where you can step away from your opponent and not provoke opportunity attacks. And last one, you get a Step of the Wind. You can take the dash action as a bonus action. Again, that is always in effect. You can always dash as a bonus action, but you can expend 1 focus point to take both the disengage and dash action as a bonus action, and your jump distance is doubled for the turn. So again, disengage, you can step away from your opponent without provoking opportunity attacks, and dash, you can double your movement. And so if you want to get away from the person you're fighting at the moment and you want to go to the other side of the battlefield or reposition, that way you can do the Step of the Wind that way. Also at second level, you get unarmored movement. Your speed increases by 10 feet while you aren't wearing armor or wielding a shield, and this bonus does increase as you level up, the monk features table will show you how your unarmed movement, how much that's affected. Also at second level, you get uncanny metabolism. So when you roll initiative, you can regain all expended focus points. And when you do so, roll your martial arts die and regain a number of hit points equal to your monk level plus the number rolled. You only get this once per long rest, so I mean, use it sparingly. But if you have no focus points left and you're really hurting, you're low on health, then you should probably use this. At third level, you get deflect attacks. So when an attack roll hits you and its damage is bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing damage, you can take your reaction to reduce the damage equal to 1d10 plus your dexterity modifier and monk level. So if you get a hefty attack, you can use your reaction to just decrease that amount of damage. Additionally, if you reduce that damage down to 0, you can spend 1 focus point and redirect that attack's force. And if you do that, a creature you can see within 5 feet of you if the attack was melee, or a creature you can see within 60 feet of you if it's ranged. They must succeed on a dexterity saving throw or take damage equal to 2 rolls of your martial arts die plus your dexterity modifier. So that can be really helpful, because if somebody, say, attacks you with like a sickle, which is 1d4 damage, you can actually redirect that attack and deal more damage to somebody else than the sickle would have done to you. At third level, you get monk subclass, and so since I don't officially own the book, I only get warrior of the open hand. Master unarmed combat techniques. Warriors of the open hand are masters of unarmed combat. They learn techniques to push and trip their opponents and manipulate their own energy to protect themselves from harm. And so this other third level feature is a open hand technique. You know, it's the monk subclass feature. So whenever you hit a creature with an attack granted by your Fury of Blows, you can impose one of the following effects on that target. You get Addle. They can't make its opportunity attacks until the start of its next turn. You can push them. They must succeed on a strength saving throw or be pushed up to 15 feet away from you. Or you can try to topple them, and they must succeed on a dexterity saving throw or have the prone condition. If you do your Flurry of Blows first, you can do a lot of other things. You know, you can topple, you can get them prone, and that way you have advantage on your attack. You can push them away, and you can move and do other things. It's very helpful. At fourth level, you get ability score improvement, so that's the same as every other class. So let's go ahead, and since we got 2 primary abilities, let's do dexterity and wisdom. At fourth level, you get slow fall. You can take a reaction when you fall to reduce any damage you take from the fall by an amount equal to 5 times your monk level. And this is kind of crazy because when you get this at fourth level, 5 times your monk level is 20, and fall damage is determined by its 1d6 damage every 10 feet above 10 feet. So that means like 10 to 20 feet is 1d6, 20 to 30 feet is 2d6, and so on. And so if you use the slow fall, you really don't even have to worry about hardly any fall damage unless you roll low. You don't have to worry about any fall damage until you get to like 40 feet, 30, 40 feet. So this is really nice because it's not going to happen very often that you're going to be falling from 30, 40 feet. At fifth level, you get extra attack. You can attack twice instead of once whenever you take the attack action on your turn. That's nice because now you get, if you use Flurry of Blows, you can get 4 attacks per turn. So you can just deal a bunch of damage. Also at fifth level, you get Stunning Strike. So once per turn, if you hit a creature with a monk weapon or an unarmed strike, you can spend 1 focus point to try to stun them. So they must make a Constitution saving throw, and if they fail, they have the stunned condition, so they can't do anything for 1 turn. And if they succeed, their speed is halved, and the next attack roll made against them has advantage. So you can't go wrong here. You can, you can spend just 1 focus point, and you can either stun them or reduce their speed and have the next attack roll have advantage. So honestly, there's a lot of, you can't even go wrong here, because if you fail, something still happens. At 6th level, you get Empowered Strikes, so whenever you deal damage with your unarmed strike, it can deal your choice of force damage or its normal damage type. So this is really nice because if you, at this level, you're starting to get a little bit higher up there. A lot of things at higher levels get resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, slashing damage. And so with your unarmed attack, that's bludgeoning damage most of the time. And so this way you can overcome that resistance by making it force damage instead. Also at 6th level, you get Wholeness of Body, and this one is a monk subclass, Warrior of the Open Hand as well. You gain the ability to heal yourself. As a bonus action, you can roll your martial arts die. You regain a number of hit points equal to the number rolled plus your wisdom modifier, and you can use this a number of times equal to your wisdom modifier, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. So this is very similar to Fighter's Second Wind feature. So that's what's really nice. You can just take a bonus action and you can heal yourself if you're really hurting. At 7th level, you get Evasion. So when you are subjected to an effect that makes you make a dexterity saving throw to take half damage, you instead take no damage if you succeed and only half damage if you fail. So that's amazing. You never take full damage from something that takes a dexterity saving throw. 8th level, you get ability score improvement, same as every other class. So go ahead, let's just do dexterity and wisdom again. At 9th level, you get acrobatic movement. So while you aren't wearing armor or wielding a shield, you gain the ability to move along vertical surfaces and across liquids on your turn without falling. So like, you can basically be the Flash on your turn, because as long as it's your turn and you don't end your turn there, you can just walk on walls and run across liquids. So that's really fun. It's a lot of flavor. It can be very helpful with things because, I mean, you can run up on a wall and you can jump off that wall and all. It's a bunch. It's fun. At 10th level, you get heightened focus. So your flurry of blows, patient defense, and step of the wind all get stronger. So your flurry of blows, you can expend 1 focus point to use flurry of blows and make 3 unarmed strikes instead of 2. It's just inherent. You just get 3 unarmed strikes instead of 2 now, which is ridiculous because now you can get 5 attacks in a turn. Patient defense, when you expend a focus point to use patient defense, you gain a number of temporary hit points equal to 2 rolls of your martial arts die. So, I mean, not only do you disengage and dodge, but you also gain temporary hit points with it as well. And Step of the Wind, when you expend a focus point to use Step of the Wind, you can choose a willing creature within 5 feet of you that is large or smaller. You move the creature with you until the end of your turn. The creature's movement doesn't provide opportunity attacks. So, kind of cool. You can just take a friend with you. You can disengage, dash, you get your jump distances increased, and you get to take along a friend to accompany you. Also at 10th level, you get self-restoration. Through sheer force of will, you can remove one of the following conditions from yourself at the end of each of your turns: charmed, frightened, or poisoned. In addition, foregoing food and drink doesn't give you levels of exhaustion. So now the second part, I mean, a lot of DMs I feel like don't exactly do exhaustion. I don't really do exhaustion when I'm a DM, but if your DM does do exhaustion, that's good for that. But I mean, you can just end charmed, frightened, or poisoned at the end of your turn, so that way it's not longer lasting. Now granted, you do miss that on that one turn, unfortunately, but that's the only turn it's going to affect you for. At 11th level, you get Fleet Step, which is a monk subclass, Warrior of the Open Hand feature. When you take a bonus action other than Step of the Wind, you can also use Step of the Wind immediately after that bonus action. So for this, I mean, you really don't want to use just Step of the Wind. Like, you might as well take any bonus action, anything at all, and then you get a free Step of the Wind. At 12th level, you get ability score improvement, same thing as always. So go ahead, let's do dexterity and wisdom again. At 13th level, you get deflect energy. So now when you use your deflect attacks feature, you can do it with any damage type instead of just bludgeoning, piercing, slashing damage. So this is really helpful for, like, if people are attacking you with spells or magic weapons, you can just do it with all damage types now. At 14th level, you get Disciplined Survivor, you get proficiency in all saving throws, and whenever you make a saving throw and fail, you can spend 1 focus point to re-roll it, and you must use that new roll. So it just makes you a lot more resilient. Your proficiency in all saving throws is very nice, and you can just get a retry on a saving throw if you fail it. At 15th level, you get Perfect Focus. So when you roll initiative and don't use Uncanny Metabolism, which is when you at the beginning of initiative, this is when you can regain all expended uses of focus points and you heal a little bit. So when you don't do that, you just gain up to 4 hit focus points. So if you have less than 4, you just get up to 4. Now it makes it to where if you, during a huge battle, if you won a lot of focus points, you can use that Uncanny Metabolism. Or if you really need some healing, you can use that Uncanny Metabolism. Because otherwise, you just get 4 focus points at the beginning of every combat. 16th level, ability score improvement. Again, same thing as always, so let's do Dexterity and Wisdom. At 17th level, you get Quivering Palm, which this is another subclass feature of Warrior of the Open Hand. This one is very cool. You gain the ability to set up lethal vibrations in someone's body. When you hit a creature with an unarmed strike, you can expend 4 focus points to start these imperceptible vibrations, which last for a number of days equal to your monk level. These vibrations are harmless unless you take an action to end them. Alternatively, when you take the attack action on your turn, you can forego one of the attacks to end the vibrations. To end them, you and the target must be on the same plane of existence, and when you end them, the target must make a Constitution saving throw, taking 10d12 force damage on a failed save. So this is crazy, because when you hit somebody with an unarmed strike, you can literally then, at a later point in time, based off of whatever you want to, you can just make them take 10d12 force damage as long as they fail, which is crazy, ridiculous. At 18th level, you get Superior Defense, so at the start of your turn, you can spend 3 focus points to bolster yourself against harm for 1 minute. During that time, you have resistance to all damage except force damage. So if it's a big battle and you really want to protect yourself, you can just maybe at the beginning of combat, you can spend 3 focus points, and for 1 minute, you have resistance to everything except for force damage. At 19th level, you get Epic Boon, same as other classes. So let's go ahead and choose an Epic Boon feat that we like. I like the speed, jump around all over the place thing, so I'm gonna do Boon of Dimensional Travel. So increase one ability score of your choice by 1, and you get Blink Steps. So immediately after you take the attack action or the magic action, you can teleport up to 30 feet to an unoccupied space that you can see. And this is free. You just attack and you can just teleport for free. So, I mean, I'm a monk, so I take the attack action, I can attack, and then I can teleport, attack somebody else, and I'm just jumping around all over the place. And then last, you have 20th level, Body and Mind. You have developed your mind and body to new heights. Your dexterity and wisdom scores increased by 4 to a maximum of 25. So it's similar to Barbarian's level 20 feature, but instead it's your dexterity and wisdom scores. So that was it for Monk. That was all the features levels 1 through 20. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you learned something. If you have any questions whatsoever, just let me know, type them in the comments below and I will answer them. And if you're curious about any other class, I have a playlist that'll have all the classes, so just go check those out for anything that you're curious on. But that will be it for this video. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next video.